Welcome inside our TVG studios. I'm Joaquin Jaime with another countdown to the Cup. We'll also be joined shortly by Keller at Keeneland Racecourse. But the 31st running of the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships will take place at Santa Anita this year on October 31st and November 1st, the third straight year. It will be hosted by the Great Race Place. And today we're going to focus in on Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert, a 10-time Breeders' Cup winner. He also won 2 races last year with Secret Circle in the Breeders' Cup Sprint and also New Year's Day in the Juvenile. As we go ahead and take a look at possible Breeders' Cup starters for Bob Baffert, we start with the Juvenile division. American Pharoah, who won the Del Mar Futurity and Front Runner this year, One Lucky Dane, a son of Lookin' at Lucky, who was a 9.5 length maiden winner in his first start on the dirt, and Punctuate, who was the first foal to race out of the New Mexico undefeated mare Pepper's Pride, who was 19 for 19 in her career. Bob said he doesn't want to go into Grade 1 company just yet, but still leaves that one in the conversation for the Juvenile. FedBiz, who won the Grade 2 San Diego this year, he'll be making his third straight start in the dirt mile. Midnight Lucky in the filly and mare sprint. She's only raced once this year. She won the Grade 1 Humana back in May. She will be coming into the Breeders' Cup off a 6-month layoff. Secret Circle looking for back-to-back wins in the Breeders' Cup Sprint and his third Breeders' Cup victory overall. And Tiz Midnight in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. She has won 3 of her last 4 starts. Here's Bob Baffert and what he had to say on her progression.
You know, Tiz Midnight is a filly that really, she's by Midnight Lute out of Tough Tiz Assist, who was a really slow maturing kind of mare. And this mare has been getting better and better. She's a really big filly, and she's a little bit mentally, like she'd get a little hot or get too excited, and she's getting better and better.
And Tiz Midnight coming off a very good second place finish in the Grade 1 Zenyatta last out behind the likely Breeders' Cup Distaff favorite in Beholder. In the Breeders' Cup Classic, he will be represented by Byron, who is coming off a win in the Grade 2 Pennsylvania Derby. Here's Bob Baffert once again with his thoughts on his top 3-year-old.
I really feel that he deserves a chance to run the Classic. He's an extremely fast horse. He's doing well. He looks healthy. His mind's right. And I worked him. He came back and worked the other day. He looks really great. So it's going to be a really tough race. But all the Classics are really tough race. A lot of speed in there. So I just can't worry about stuff like that. But Breeders' Cups are tough. That's why they call them championship. They're not going to give them to you. You got to really work hard for them. So, but I just like the way he's coming into it.
And Byron is 5 for 9 in his career, looking for his 4th graded stakes victory of the season and looking to give Bob Baffert his first Breeders' Cup Classic victory. Well, one trainer that has won the Breeders' Cup Classic is trainer Al Stahl, and he's standing by at Keeneland Racecourse right now with Keller for an update on his juvenile fillies hopeful.
Trainer Al Stahl looking to send a nice filly out to California for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies, horse by the name of Top Decile. And Al, I'll ask you, early on, what were your implications there, just seeing her train early on at Saratoga and that big maiden win?
Yeah, well, she showed us something before she left Churchill. We took her up to Saratoga, took our time. We wanted to get a race in it that had a little more ground in it than those 5/8. And we went 6.5 in the middle of the month, and she showed up just like we thought she would and came out of it fine. And it was a great trip up there, and she went really well afterwards also.
Well, she caught a racetrack with a lot of moisture in it for the Darley Alcibiades. Ran a bang-up second. What were your thoughts on that race?
Yeah, we were excited. For a horse that only run 6.5 furlongs one time in her life, to miss the break and take all that abuse that the track was kicking back at and run right through it and finish like she did. And you can't help but be excited because she had to get a lot out of that race.
And we're all set to move on to California?
Yeah, we're on schedule. We're on the 28th plane on the 28th of October, and a couple breezes at Churchill, and out we go.
And Caleb, you also have a report on a 2-year-old from the Mike Maker barn who will be in the juvenile turf.
Thanks, Joaquin. And one of the American stars that's emerging in the juvenile turf division is a horse by the name of International Star. This is a 2-year-old son of Fusaichi Pegasus, and Mike Maker told me they've really thought a lot about this horse all along, coming off a very decisive win in the Grade 3 Gray Stakes at Woodbine, where he beat Conquest Typhoon, who is a very well thought of horse in the division as well. Mike Maker told me that Johnny Velasquez, the Hall of Famer, is set to ride International Star in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, and they're very confident heading out to California.
And Caleb, should he win, he'll become the 2nd New York bred to win a Breeders' Cup race, joining London Bridge, who did it last year in the Breeders' Cup Marathon. Well, coming up at the end of the month, one of the more popular shows returns to TVG It is The Works. 3 live shows on October 25th, 26th, and 27th, starting at 8 o'clock Pacific time.